Hey, what's up guys? Radku here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video. And today I am running low on content, so I am going to be reviewing new archetypes. Yay! So, ignoring the blatant content ripoff, today we're going to be going over the Exorcister's archetype. Now, this is, not a bad deck. Surprisingly, they have a lot of really good cards. I feel like they do need a little bit more support to be completely broken, but ignoring the fact that they're a waifu deck, I really do think they have a lot of potential. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So, starting things off, we have Exorcister Elise. It's a level 4 light fairy light fairy. I am way too used to saying that. Light spellcaster monster. 500 attack, 800 defense. So you can only use the first and second effect once per turn. If you control an Exorcister monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then if you control Stella, you gain 800 life points. So this deck, literally, there are always two cards that match up in this deck. So for this one, it's Elise and Stella, and then for the next one, the next two match up. And then, they use that to literally just gain life points. The life point gain is kind of weird, but the fact that it's just a special summon is really, really good. This allows you to do pretty good combo plays, and it allows you to go into your Xyz monsters normally. But its second effect is if a card / cards leaves the field, leaves any graveyard by an opponent's card, you can special summon one Exorcister Xyz monster from your extra deck by using this card you control as material, and it is treated as an Xyz summon. Now, this is where the deck kind of flops for me. So the thing is that the deck is based around the graveyard, and if your opponent interacts with the graveyard, you get to summon your Xyz monsters. But the issue with that is that when it relies on your opponent interacting with the graveyard, whether that be a banishing deck, special summoning from the graveyard, stuff like that. But the thing is that, really, even though the meta right now is geared towards that, the meta isn't decks aren't always going to be doing this, so you can't abuse it as well. So the thing is that it's usable, but it's not exactly the best. Almost all of the Exorcister cards have this effect, so I'm just going to ignore it. So then with that, let's go into the next one, which is Exorcister Stella. Same type and attribute, same level, 300 attack, 800 defense. So you can only use the first and second effect once per turn. During the main phase, you can special summon one Exorcister from your hand. Then if you control Exorcister Elise, you can gain 800 life points. And then it has the same effect where if a card leaves the graveyard by an opponent's card, you can special summon an Xyz monster. So the fact that it's an extender or starter, it makes it really good. These two are really the only extenders, so they're going to be really important for the deck as a whole. Honestly, it's actually pretty good. These don't have bad effects. The fact that it can special summon one from hand, and then the fact that this one can just special summon itself, means that it allows you to continue playing and extending, as well as the fact that it gives you the opportunity to hard summon your Xyz monsters, which are the best part of the deck. So, honestly, this card is actually really, really good. The fact that it's just a starter makes it, really good, and it allows you to play the deck normally. Next one we have is Exorcister Elaine. So it's a level 4 light spellcaster, 400 attack, 800 defense. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. So you can return an Exorcister from your hand to the bottom of the deck, then draw one card. Then if you control Exorcister Sophia, you can get 800 life points. Now, when I was first reading these cards, I thought that the 800 life points were going to pay off to something, but the thing is that they don't really pay off to anything. So it's okay, but it's just not exactly very broken per se. I wish, like, if they were gonna have a life point gain, I wish they actually had effects pertaining to it. But then it has the same secondary effect. Honestly, it's not a bad card, but this is definitely gonna be more of a 2-of than anything because it's not as good. Next one is Exorcister Sophia. Like I said, those two match up as well as the top two. So it's a level 4 light spellcaster, 100 attack, 800 defense. You can only use first and second effect once per turn. If you control another Exorcister monster, draw 1 card, and if you control a lane, gain 800 life points. So, like I said, all of them have this gain 800 life points thing, and normally they should pay off to something. I haven't actually read all the cards, so unless they have something super broken, that 800 life points isn't very good. Then it has the same secondary effect. Honestly, the secondary effect is playable considering our current meta, but the thing is that I don't think the meta is gonna last long enough for this deck to come out. So unless Tri-Brigade and Drytron are the best decks for like the next 2 years, I highly doubt that this deck is going to be able to counter it very well. So that is it for the main deck monsters. I wish we had a higher monster count, but the thing is that usually the new archetypes don't have that high of a main deck monster count. Next card we have is Exorcister Mkhilisi. It's a rank 4 light warrior Xyz monster, so they changed up a little bit. 2500 attack, 1800 defense, 2 level 4 monsters. You can only use the first and third effect once per turn because the second effect is protection. If this card was Xyz summoned previously using an Exorcister monster as material, and keep in mind that when the Exorcisters cheat them out of the extra deck, they are treated as an Xyz summon. Quick effect, you can detach 1 Xyz material, target 1 card your opponent controls or in their graveyard, banish it. Now, see, this is what I was talking about. These Xyz monsters have insane effects. This card just literally banishes. The fact that it targets is okay, but the thing is that, like, the fact that it can just banish anything on a quick effect too. This card is literally a Shurag that targets. Like, this card is really, really good. And then its secondary effect is cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster special summon from the graveyard. That's the same with all the Xyz monsters. So the fact that they have the little bit of protection is okay, but the fact that it could just quick effect banish anything is so good. And then you can detach 1 Xyz material, add 1 Exorcister card or spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So not only is this card a +1, it allows you to quick effect banish. That's so good. So, looking at this card, it actually supports you hard summoning it. And that's the same with most of the other Exorcister monsters. So this needs to detach in order to banish cards. Oh wait, no. It doesn't need to detach. I misread it. If this card was Xyz summoned previously this turn using an Exorcister quick effect, you could target 1 card your opponent controls, banish it. Oh my god, this doesn't detach. That's so good. You can just use this normally, and you don't have to use it like immediately. You can just summon it on your opponent's turn with one of the Exorcister effects, and then just wait to banish a card. That's so good. And then it literally just goes +1. Like, that's just like the icing on top. And some of the spells and traps are pretty good. So, that one already started it off really strong. Next one we have is Exorcister Caspetheal. I don't really know how to pronounce this one. Same, rank 4 light warrior, 2300 attack, 800 defense, 2 level 4 monsters. So it's the same first and third effect. This card is Xyz summoned using an Exorcister as a material. You can activate this effect. Neither player can special summon monsters from the graveyard. That's pretty good. So, you'll see a little bit later that this graveyard lock stuff actually is fairly good, because the thing is, you can basically make it a pseudo Necro Valley with one of the other cards that they have, and you can easily cheat this out on your opponent's turn. you can cheat it out on your opponent's turn, and then you're able to lock them out of interacting with the graveyard, which is actually really good. And then you can detach one to add an Exorcister monster from your deck to your hand, which is really good. The fact that both of these are +1s is really good, and I like the monsters. The fact that they're just extenders makes it really, really good. I wish the monsters were better extenders, but the fact that these cards are really good just makes it that much better. So there's 2 classes of the Exorcister Exceeds. There's the disruption cards, and then there's the floodgate cards. Floodgate cards usually stop your opponent from interacting with the graveyard, and then the disruption cards just stop everything by interacting with the field. So the next card we have is Exorcister Josephine. It has 400 or rank 4 light warrior, 1400 attack, 2800 defense, 2 level 4 monsters. You can use the first and third effect once per turn. If this card is succeed summoned previously this turn using an Exorcister as material, quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls and negate its effects for the rest of the turn. So the fact that 1, you can easily cheat this out on your opponent's turn, and 2, you can just free negates. The thing is that these cards want to be summoned on your opponent's turn. So this one literally summons and then it can banish a card. This one summons and then it can literally just negate an effect, and then this one summons and just floodgates. That's really good. So the thing is that this actually kind of reminds me of Zhang Jin a little bit, where one of the monsters has an effect to negate the effects and the other one has the effect to just completely stop to get rid of the cards. So it's actually funny, this deck is kind of like Zodiac, except it plays on your opponent's turn. And the fact that they have this removal effect is really, really good. This deck has a built-in better Trident, and then this card is just really good, just being able to negate. And then its third effect isn't very good. You can detach an Exceeds material for the rest of the turn. All Exceeds monsters gain 800. I guess I could come up, since this one's 2500. It's not bad actually, because the 2500 could get it to beat over Dragoon, since this deck does seem to have a little bit of an issue beating over something like Dragoon. Next one we have is Exorcister Josephine. It's a rank 4 light warrior, 2100 attack, 1800 defense, 2 level 4s, of course. It is first and third effect. If this card is succeed summoned by an Exorcister monster effect, you can activate this effect. For the rest of the turn, neither player can activate cards or effects in the graveyard. So this is what I was talking about. So this, along with this one, allow you to floodgate your opponent to pseudo Necro Valley them. Now this would actually be extremely good in the Drytron matchup, just because you can completely stop them from special summoning from the graveyard. But that's not the effect that I really like about this card. Its third effect is you can detach an Exceeds material from this card, then target 1 monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Now, even though this isn't on a quick effect, the fact that you can use this one to disrupt these two to disrupt your opponent on their turn, and then you can use this one to be able to control the field on your turn with the spell card that's about to come up, makes it really, really good. And the fact that you can easily cheat these cards out means that you can have a decent style going on. Next card is Exorcister Memento, quick play spell. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. That's fine. You can only activate this card during your opponent's turn unless your opponent controls a monster that was special summoned from the graveyard. So this card is basically useless on your turn unless your opponent is playing something like Drytron and they leave or they summon the Herald from the grave, which that's hyper specific, but the restriction's kind of heavy, but its effect is really good. Pay 800 life points, that's where the 800 life points come up, I guess. Then target 1 Exorcister monster you control, special summon from the extra deck 1 Exorcister Exceeds monster with a different name by using the monster as material. This is treated as an Xyz summon and transfer the materials to the summoned monster. So the thing is that you can use this for your normal monsters and for your Xyz monsters. This would be an automatic 3 of, considering the fact that if you can't hard summon them, that means that you now have incentive to just summon and pass, because this card actually makes it to where you can cheat them out on your opponent's turn using stuff like the pseudo floodgates and so on. That's actually a pretty good effect. Next one is a continuous spell, Exorcister Caspetheal. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. Carpetabel, I don't know. You can only use a first and third effect, so this is kind of like the Xyz monsters. 1. Exorcister monsters cannot be targeted by monster effect from monster special summon from the graveyard. If you Xyz summon an Exorcister monster, you can declare one name for the rest of the turn, negate the effects and the effects on the field of cards with that original name. Wow, that's actually really good. Like, the fact that you can use the effect, summon it on your opponent's turn, and then you can, like, negate one of their major combo pieces, like, I don't know, Alistair the Invoker. You could literally just stop them. This card is like a prohibition, but like crappier. But the fact that it's actually searchable is really good. And then when an attack is declared involving an Exorcister, you can target one spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it. Okay, that's not good, but it's not bad either. I mainly want to focus this. Like, you can just declare a card name. It doesn't even have to be one that's on the field. You could just, like, negate Alistair the Invoker before your opponent's turn even starts. Like, negate Nadir Servant, negate Eldritch the Golden Lord, negate Drytron Alpha, or Ben 10. Negate Ben 10. Like, seriously, this is a really, really good card. And then the attack declaration thing is okay, but the fact that, one, this gives your Exorcister monsters protection, and it can allow you to negate the effects of cards that aren't even on the field, so that's just insane. Next we have a trap, Exorcister Vedis. It's a normal trap. You can activate one card with this name's effect per turn. Pay 800 life points for the rest of the turn. After this effect resolves, you cannot special summon a monster from the extra deck except Exorcisters. Also, special summon 2 Exorcisters from the deck, but shuffle them into the deck during the end phase. So, mainly, I wish this was on a spell. Like, this card would be so broken on a spell. Like, this would instantly get banned if it was on a spell. But, like, it can special summon 2 and then give them Xyz, or like literally set up a free Xyz summon. Reminds me of that Bujin card that literally tributes itself to summon 2 from deck. This actually is a really good effect. So, like, even though they don't have broken effects on field, what you can do with this is, if you're playing against a deck that interacts with the graveyard, you summon it on your opponent's turn, and then you can summon 2 Xyz monsters, probably the Negate and the Banish. Then, if you wanted to wait, because your opponent isn't playing a graveyard-reliant deck, you just activate this on your turn, special summon 2, and hard make one of the Xyz monsters, which is actually pretty good. You can just summon the Compulse, and then you have a decent play. And then, for some reason, there's a Ties of the Brethren down here. I assume reprints. But, like, that's pretty much it for the new Archtype. This deck looks like it has a lot of potential. The main deck definitely needs a lot of work in order to make the deck better, but the Xyz monsters are super broken. Like, I'm surprised how well they made the Xyz monsters, especially since the deck can cheat them out. Now, this forced restriction on your opponent interacting with the graveyard is kind of an issue, because, like, decks that interact with the graveyard can just not do it, like a lot of decks can. But, like, there's plenty of decks that this deck counters really well, and the fact that the Xyz monsters are so good gives this deck a lot of potential going into the format. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, let me know what you thought, and let me know like, how you like this new Archtype, because, like, aside from them being automatic waifus, like, the deck looks pretty good, and it has a lot of potential. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'll see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Peace, guys.